cost savings. But we have new challenges, and there are new changes. Transportation and transit-related issues, technology, the environment, and the economy dominate 21st century issues. To meet these challenges, I am recommending the following initiatives. In transportation and transit, the transportation planner and planning and zoning has been moved to the Department of Transportation to better deal with issues relating to people, moving people from parole centers, D.C. and Baltimore. A new emphasis has been placed on issues related to alternative transportation, bicycle initiatives, and parking enforcement, and a staff person will create the positive energy needed to promote and implement these programs citywide. Parking enforcement staff are to be moved from the police department to the transportation department, and a licensed scanner will be purchased to enhance parking enforcement. The Washington, D.C. and BWI transportation routes will be bid in the private market. The city has worked cooperatively with Dillon's bus service to continue the 921 service, but this will be renamed the Capital to Capital line, expanded to the weekend, and marketed in D.C. and Baltimore to draw visitors in those cities to Annapolis consistent with our tourism strategy. Service to BWI and New Carrollton opens up opportunities for people to travel to any place on the globe, and it reduces dependence on auto and parking capacity. Grant money is being pursued for residents who commute to Annapolis, D.C., and BWI for work. 6, after reviewing the success of the dock, park, and display parking, the city will shift to a pay and display program in the city dock, Main Street, Prince George, and other residential streets. This is anticipated to enhance revenue for parking by 10%. The Knighton Garage, which loses money, will serve as a garage model for pay and display, and savings secured will outfit the garage for hybrid vehicles to recharge. The city shuttle passes Knighton Garage 90 times a day. A marketing plan for this best-kept secret is being developed. A dedicated funding source from assets of the pay and display off-street parking area to enhance frequency and will enhance frequency and extended hours for the transit system. And bus maintenance will be outsourced, which is an expected cost saving, and city ordinances revised to reflect these changes. That's in transit and transportation. In technology, we have the following challenges, and I am proposing changes. The IT department serves a community outreach function, which through the external website is undergoing improvements to meet new demands for public service. But the IT department began primarily as a support service to city agencies moving into the computer age. Today, however, the infrastructure is outdated. The email system is not integrated into the system platform, and no overall plan to update the existing infrastructure, replace legacy systems, or increase automation exists. The department is also understaffed. Consultants reviewing the MIT operations recommend in the long term that MIT become a separate department with a chief information officer reporting directly to the mayor. More advanced systems are needed to meet automation, efficiency, and disaster recovery. Outsourcing of infrastructure could provide lower costs at a higher level of service. Leasing the city fiber optic space should be explored as a new revenue source. These changes are necessary, they are expensive, and they will have to be the focus of another administration. However, to jumpstart these changes, I am requesting money for support to develop a strategic plan that documents business requirements citywide and map-needed functionality to support citizen services and regular operations. This effort would be the foundation for selection for new systems in line with the advanced technological tools in today's world to be considered in 2010. To keep staff up to date on the use of technology money for training staff in each department is recommended in the Human Resources budget to improve user access to information and reports necessary to data via the web. And redesigning the annual performance employee review process is also needed. Now, the last issue in need of remedy is the Market House. And while our lawyers prepare for a June 9th trial date, the Market House sits vacant through the abuse and misuse of the privately contract managers retained by the city in good faith to provide an important service to those who visit the city and those who live and work here. By failing to meet its obligations outlined in the lease over an extended period of time, Market House Ventures has defaulted on its lease. We have formally notified Market House Ventures that they are in default of their lease for both failure to pay rent and for failure to make meaningful and good faith efforts to fill the empty stalls in the Market House. Additionally, I've directed our lawyers to aggressively explore whether the city should exercise eminent domain and condemn the Market House lease and quickly return the market to city control. I expect to have their conclusion and any recommendations no later than our regular April meeting. One of our greatest challenges that the city faces comes at a high cost, but has no dollar amount attached to it. Our ability to be civil with one another and interact without accusing or pointing fingers is a challenge. I've tried to address, since my first year as mayor, the Let's Talk Annapolis forums and luncheons. The civility panel and discussions were all part of an attempt to open a dialogue and make the city better through the ideas of its own residents. During this election year, we need to keep discussions open with a civil approach to problem solving involving city officials, the public, and the media. As a courtesy to the next mayor and council, here's a little fact that has been long lost through the years, but once ruled the harsh tongues in the new colony of Maryland. A law against spreading false news and information was proposed by proprietor Lord Baltimore. The law declared, in quotes, "Spreading false news to make discord is punishable by common law with fines and imprisonment." An attempt to create a civil environment has been the focus of leaders dating back to Lord Baltimore. In 1651, commenting on rumor and intentional false statements in a letter, he stated, and this is in the words of that time, "A government divided," does that sound later? You heard this 200 years later. "Divided in itself brings confusion and much misery upon all people under it. Within the creators of such division, the fomenters of discord must justly expect sad calamities from the same, if they do not in time see and rectify the same for the public peace and welfare of the people under the government." The focus of Lord Baltimore's comments of law were part of the new colony's formation and part of its success. The spread of intentional falsehoods could not be tolerated. These same principles are used today regarding slander and libel, and so 385 years later, the fight for civility continues. This budget recommends some bold new steps for change. It suggests potential revenue enhancements and cost savings. It addresses the challenges ahead of us and maintains public service demands at the constant yield tax rate that citizens desire. In closing, this budget speaks to the business leaders, the Republicans, the Democrats, the civic leaders, and faith-based leaders. The budget takes into account the great expectations of great city and responsibly maintains a balanced budget for the next mayor and the council to work with. This is my last State of the City address, and as I leave you with this budget to work with, I also leave you with this thought. I ran as mayor 7 years ago, hoping to leave this city better than I found it. I believe I have accomplished that, and I hope this budget represents some of those efforts. Thank you.